Okay, so the second part was quite quick, and the last part is a media and marketing landscape in Japan. Okay, so this is a advertising trend. You may saw when you were here, there are a lot of TV commercials, digital signage, or out-of-home advertisement, OH.
Yes.
Since we are we specialized in the IT company,
IT.
so all of the advertisement is IT, but we also have a different type of advertisement. But these days, I see a lot of commercials from the solution or IT companies, like you see right now, like Salesforce. Smart HR, this is a domestic HR cloud service, and this is Zoho in Roppongi. This is Henge. This is Japanese cloud service in Shinagawa. So how about your country? Is there any advertisement you witness outside of outside? Is there any digital signage? What is the trend?
In terms of digital, there are still a few in Madagascar. There are some like the one in Roppongi. We have that, but more not in public advertisement. But I found one at school. So at school, they can have this kind of signage for students. For now, we have also the big signage, like 4 per 6 square meter. So it's like huge ones, but there are not very much like in Japan. I think like 2 or 3. I would say like 2 or 3 only in the capital city, which is very few compared to Japan. I guess even in Shinjuku or in Shibuya, you have more than 10. But in Madagascar, we are more like printed advertisement for now, which is the trend, is more in terms of the digital printed. We use the digital commercialization, I mean the digital marketing, mainly in the social network, like in Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. So at that time, and also the TV commercials as well. But we don't have that much outside like you have in Japan, like the big signage like we have in Shinjuku or the one in Shibuya, like in the crossroads. You have like a 3D commercial advertisement. We don't have that yet in Madagascar. It's very, the trend is more in terms of printed marketing. We hope that we can bring more in Madagascar, and I guess it will really make the difference, because it's going to be like the first one or the first 3D advertisement if you really want to go here and then to attract some markets here. And I guess for people also to go to Japan, it has to be also taken in consideration that if you really want to make people to remember your brand, because there are so many brands, so you really need also to go to the digital signage, because if you just go for your website or your own YouTube channel, you will not really be known by the market. So that's what I think in terms of comparison of Madagascar and Japan.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to a little bit texty slide, but so these are 4 major mass media in Japan. So magazine and newspaper, internet, and TV or video platforms. So have you ever witnessed any of mass media when you were here?
Sorry, Sorry, I couldn't hear you very well.
Oh, have you ever seen any mass media when you were here?
Yes. I think all of them: magazine, the newspaper, internet for sure, the video platforms as well. Yes, I've seen a lot of them. Even though I couldn't really understand all of them, but I could have seen them. Yes. And I think Japanese really reads the newspaper, like even though it's really printed, and in my country we don't really we tend to get the digital newspaper or to read on the social network. So in Japan, the newspaper are still like the same, I think, trend. Especially in terms of economics and politics, the newspaper. And in terms of contents also, the newspaper in Japan are more informative in terms of economics and politics, and at least for my own experience, and more informative in terms of what's going on in Japan also, and in the world. But in Madagascar, we tend to highlight what is happening in Madagascar, and more in terms of how to say that, like very less in terms of knowledge or information, but more in terms of crimes or anything like related to daily lives, not really like related to because when I really compare the two newspaper or the TV or any TV programs, the TV programs in Japan were totally different. I can learn the Japanese language. I can learn a lot about agriculture, about many kinds of topics. But in Madagascar, it's more in terms of a lot of advertisement, a lot of songs, a lot of French movies, and everything like that. So even in terms of that, I can really see that the contents are totally different. So yeah, that's what I feel in terms of comparison between the mass media in Japan and in Madagascar.
I see. Thank you. About the newspaper, actually, the average age of the subscription is above 50s. Yes.
Yes, very old.
Yes. But there's still many people read newspaper because many people subscribe, meaning you will receive at the house every day. So
yes. So you have to read it.
So if your house subscribe the newspaper, you will see the newspaper, and you also can buy newspaper in convenience store or other stand in station. So yes, it's still popular and still has a impact. In if your something is in the newspaper, it means something. So you can really make it public. So yes, this can be still one of the mass media. Yes. About the TV, TV is still, even though less people watch TV these days, but still many people watch TV. So it also can be a very major. If something is on TV, then the store will be really crowded on the next day. So yes, TV is also the big mass media. Yes.
So
sure.
Yes, sorry. So in terms of TV and video platforms, you mean that, for example, if a company wants to make them known by Japanese market, is it good for them to make some advertisement on TV or to be a part of the program or something like that?
Well, I think both will really work. Yes. Advertisement cost more, I think. You mean commercial, right?
Yes.
But even though you will be, how can I say, interviewed in some program, that also can be a really big advertisement. to let them know your service or your product. So yes, it has a lot of impact. Yes.
Interesting.
Okay. So from that, there is a very popular website called Yahoo Japan News or Yahoo Japan. But yeah, they stopped to service to Europe, I think.
Oh,
so yeah, they
really?
Yes, last year they stopped. So people live in EU, they no longer access this site anymore.
I see the newspaper or the newspaper on internet. The Japan news. Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they stopped because they couldn't keep the quality of service. That's what they say. So,
yes.
Okay. Okay. So that's the mass media in Japan and the social media in Japan. So social media almost equal SNS. Originally different things, but in Japan many people use them without distinguish between them. So almost the same. And so SNS users increasing, especially mobile access. So at the beginning of 2021, 74.3% of the total population are social media users in Japan, which increased to 4.9% compared to 2020. 98% of them access social media via mobile phones. Almost.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And average time spent on SNS, 51 minutes per day. So the average time Japanese spend on social media per day is only 51 minutes. This is much shorter than the world average. World average is 2 hours, 25 minutes. However, compared to the previous year, 45 minutes per day, the number is still increased.
Okay.
And
that means that Japanese people are very productive.
I'm not sure. Maybe there are other things they can spend the time on. And lastly, business purpose SNS users are less. The Japanese internet users who use social media for work purposes are only 16.7%. It is surely increased compared to the previous year, 15%, but still very low compared to the global average, 40.4%. So this is something you need to be aware of, because your marketing strategy may target some SNS, but people don't use SNS for business purpose. So
exactly.
You might waste of your time and money. If you just put advertisement on SNS but they're not really using SNS for the business purpose, then you will make a lot of you will lose a lot of things. So you should be aware of this. Yes.
Yeah, that's really interesting to know that. Actually, when I see like 98% of them access to social media via mobile phones, it's a lot of, I mean, everyone is like only on phones. So in terms like, for example, if you really need to go through the social media, you need to adjust at least your website, I mean, to be responsive to phones. And I think it's really interesting to understand that it has to be like mobile strategy, not really on web strategy. But as you said also, they will not look at you if it's be on the mobile. So you really need maybe really to focus first on the website and to really understand that, to make it really official on website before going to the mobile strategy. So yeah, really really interesting. But yeah, it's really low in terms of business purpose. I thought it would be more, because sometimes I receive a lot of advertisement from my phone related to business. So I thought, but it was more in terms of market, like Merukari or other kind of stores, or any kind of, you see what I mean, like shops. So they made it a lot from the mobile strategy. But maybe for big companies like Nissan or Toyota, they will never do it on social media. But once more, I don't know if you put in the SNS, the LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is more like professional SNS. And I think in Japan, you don't really use Facebook. Like Facebook, when I ask Japanese people, like very few of them really use Facebook. But the first one they use is Twitter. No, not Twitter, sorry, Line. The Line first, and then there is the Twitter, Instagram, sometimes Instagram, and really few people use Facebook. Very few people. So I don't know if also, what do you think about that? Like, what are the SNS that you are using?
Well, actually, there are very few LinkedIn users in the first place in Japan. Actually, it's 3 million. 3 million users. Yes. The reason is Facebook is used for business purpose as well in Japan. So you will see a lot of company page in Facebook.
Yes.
So now people notice that they want to distinguish their private life and business. So LinkedIn can be the one for just dedicate for the business, but still there are not many LinkedIn users in Japan. So,
I see.
Yes, and there are many Twitter users because you can use this as you don't have to put your real name, right? In Twitter.
Yes.
So many people using Twitter because Japanese people, in general, Japanese people are very shy. So they don't want to public their career in the past. So
I see.
So when it comes to, you don't want to show your past, your career, your education, then LinkedIn, you cannot make a profile in LinkedIn, right? So these people can make an account in Twitter because you don't have to, be you in Twitter. So you can pretend someone else. So many people use Twitter, or many people use Line. Because Line is more personal. Line is used for more like messaging instead of announcing something, promote something. But Line also can be used for the corporate account, actually, to connect with consumers. Because many people use Line, so they have an account. So it's easy for them to reach out to the consumers. So Line is also the popular social media for companies as well.
Okay, understood that. I have one more question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Like in terms of, because it's really common, for example, in Europe or also in my country and in Africa, it's really common that we reach, for example, some people that we know that they are working in this company, and we want to make some collaboration with this company. So we reach people directly through LinkedIn. Is it something that already happens to you, that some people reach you through your LinkedIn page and then ask you some information for collaboration? Is it something that is common also in Japan, that when we want to reach someone from the company, so we make the research on LinkedIn. So we ask people who are already working there. Is it something that is common also, and does it already happen to you?
Yes, to me it happens because I have an account in LinkedIn. So
yes,
but if it's common in Japan, it's not, because basically the number of users is very limited. But
yes.
if you're asking it is okay to reach out to the people, yes, you can, because they have an account. So
Okay.
yes, you can.
I'm just asking, maybe it's not really respectful, or is it okay?
No, it should be okay, as far as you explain what you expect.
Why you reach them?
Yes, it shouldn't. It's okay. But one common misunderstanding in Japan is that people think that LinkedIn is a tool for the job search.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yes.
This is very common misunderstanding. Yes, you can use LinkedIn for looking for your next job, but not necessarily.
Yes.
You can, you can look for the partners, you can look for the opportunities, but many people don't know about it. They just think that because one of the reasons is that many agents reach out to them to introduce the jobs. So they misunderstood the concept.
Exactly. Yes, I think LinkedIn has to make more information or communication about it to really demystify the fact that it's not just about jobs, but you can also make up a collaboration for LinkedIn. Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay. So next one, oh sorry, social media for Also this.
That's what we talked about.
Yes, YouTube and Line, LinkedIn, Facebook. So very few people use LinkedIn. So,
I can see that. Yes.
Yeah. So Facebook still famous. So because when you say LinkedIn, people don't know what it is actually.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, because only 3.2% has an account. And I don't think all of them are active users. Some of them, they just have an account.
Just open. Okay.
Yeah, so meaning, yeah, people don't know about LinkedIn, unfortunately. So
I see.
Yes. But still, there are some users are really active. Some users post something every day. So yes, there are very active users in LinkedIn, but the total number is not so huge in Japan. But means you still have an opportunity there, because Facebook is kind of full already. So.
Yes, that's true.
And about the YouTube, most used social media platform is YouTube.
Wow.
So
74.3%.
Yes.
Wow.
And one unique thing is that if you, since the YouTube audience is quite uniform, meaning all the generation watch YouTube, so you can reach out almost any age group. If you have an advertisement in YouTube, then you can reach almost any age group. So
that's really interesting. So to really make a video content instead of like printed or just a static version, but really to make something like a video content would be more interesting than in Japan.
Yes. Okay. So This is one of the application, business card application called 8. So it has 3 million business people use this application. You can digitize the business card you exchanged.
That's really interesting.
This is a popular application in Japan. And Sansan Inc. is also famous for the business contact management application for large enterprise in Japan. So yeah, 8 is for individual, but they also have another solution. So total, they have a lot of contact information.
It's really interesting.
So, okay, so this is the last slide, I think. So event participation about in Japan. So first of all, event sponsorship and sponsorship at an early stage without key partners or customer is not recommended. This is more like for technology companies because we specialize in that market. Yes. But our recommendation is you start from the attending instead of sponsorship. So companies with no proven sales record rarely participate in events, and many event attendees are not decision makers in product selection. So visitor participation is sufficient for information gathering and networking purposes. So yeah, that's event sponsorship and event attending. Event attendants that are held globally may have their own specification if they are operated in Japan. This is more like when you have a booth in the event, and the event is held globally. However, there may be some unique requirements in Japan. For example, based on my experience, there is less booth customization available in Japan. So everything is kind of templated, because in other countries they can decorate their booth in their own way. So, but sometimes it's not possible in Japan. So you should know the guideline. Yes.
That's true. That's true.
And the last one is event hosting. Overseas headquarters may propose parties with important customers before or after major events, but this may not be in line with Japanese culture. You need to be careful. So a lunch or dinner is generally preferred over party. So
yes,
that's
that's really true.
Yeah, but I understand they want to host big parties, but it's not really fit our culture. So you should be really careful and listen the opinion from local people. That's our recommendation. It's okay to have a great big parties, but sometimes it doesn't fit our culture. So
yes, and I think it's also better to really have someone who understands also the culture around you to guide you and with whom you can ask, because there are a lot of details that you need to be care of,
right?
In terms of this dinner, even the lunch also. You need to really know where to take people, where you should not take people, and because you cannot take people everywhere, and you really need at least to have also someone to with you that understand also very well the business, the culture in Japan.
Okay, thank you. That's about the event. And finally, we come down to the last slide. So it takes so much time, more than I expected. Okay.
Sorry, I was too talkative with you.
No. Thank you very much. So that's what I wanted to explain the meeting in the past, but we couldn't get a chance. So today we could go through all the slides. So I'm really happy.
Yes, me too.
Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tomomi-san.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.